Good evening. It is Wednesday night and I am Joseph Johnson. Okay, I'm standing in for your regular presenter, but it is still News Extra. The news packaged with the extra touch. Tonight we begin with politics. After all, we are in deep in the season with just few weeks to the general elections. But the question is, are you part of it? From politics, we shall move to development news, business, health and social development. But that's not all. We have something on security that I hope will cheer you. Of course, we have the usual sports news and tomorrow's weather prospects. So, let's not waste time. We have so much to share on the program tonight. Sit back and let's get the show on the road. Welcome to the program. President Muhammadu Buhari has been conferred with a prestigious chieftaincy title of Sadaukin Gwandu by the paramount ruler of the ancient Gwandu Emirate, Alhaji Muhammadu Ilyasu Bashir. This was when the president paid homage on the Kebbi State Council of Traditional Rulers as part of his electioneering campaign tour of the land of equity. State House correspondent Sambo reports.
The last visit by President Muhammadu Buhari to Kebbi State was in 2016 to launch the Anko Borrowers Program, a rice revolution crusade that the people embraced massively and never regretted. As a result, many have been turned millionaires and joblessness significantly reduced, hence the prevailing peace enterprise as well as an improved standard of living. This campaign tour by the governing APC was therefore an opportunity for the Kabis, as they are fondly called, to say thank you to President Muhammadu Buhari. Addressing a mammoth crowd of enthusiastic supporters that converged on Haliru Abdu Multipurpose Stadium, venue of the rally, President Buhari thanked them for not only sustaining their trust and confidence in his leadership, but also contributing significantly to the goal of achieving food security in Nigeria. His administration, he promised, will not relent in consolidating the giant strides recorded so far through the change agenda until genuine aspirations of the country are fully realized. Speaker after speaker at the rally were unanimous that Kebbi never had it so good and is indeed reciprocating by the remarkable show of support for the APC.
You have given a lot to Kebbi State. We are all united in supporting President Muhammadu Buhari and Yomi Osibajo. And we are working hard to ensure that percentage-wise will be the #1 state to deliver APC.
A similar show of appreciation was demonstrated at the palace of Sheikh Abdullahi Fodio when President Muhammadu Buhari visited the paramount rulers of the various kingdoms in Kebbi State. Emir of Gwandu, Muhammadu Ilyasu Bashir, who spoke on their behalf, said the title of Sadaukin Gwandu conferred on the president is in appreciation of the significant impact his presidency has made in the reduction of poverty, unemployment, and insecurity in the state through its people-centered policies and programs. As far as we are concerned, the Emir said, Mr. President, you need not to have come to seek for votes here in Kebbi State, as the people have already decided to pay you back on election day for improving their lives in many ways. From Burning Kebbi, Sambo, NTA News.
The remarkable demonstration of ecstatic support for the Next Level movement and indeed the hallmark of the nationwide campaign crusade of the governing APC has again been reenacted, but this time in Sokoto, the seat of the caliphate, which virtually stood still for President Muhammadu Buhari, who vowed to sustain efforts at dismantling obstacles to sustainable future of the country. Again, here is Sambo.
Sokoto is the 11th stop by the presidential campaign train of the governing APC since the formal launch of the vote-seeking enterprise in Akwa Ibom State on December 28. Unlike in other places visited, the show of love, affection, and goodwill for President Muhammadu Buhari was remarkably overwhelming. In what appears as a tumultuously befitting reception was accorded the Nigerian leader by the sea of humanity, comprising mainly his aesthetic supporters as he arrived Giginya Memorial Stadium, venue of the campaign rally. Sokoto people, President Muhammadu Buhari said, have not disappointed him, and he believes will never do so, hence his sincere appreciation to them for keeping faith with the governing APC. He reassured them that his administration will never let them down as it faithfully implement the change agenda for the good of all. As the president puts it, I will neither abuse trust nor allow anyone to do so, no matter how highly placed. All those found wanting will be dealt with appropriately. Members of the Presidential Campaign Council, including the party leader in the state, former Governor Aliyu Wamako, were optimistic of victory for the APC, which they say has delivered on its mandate.
The ship of this country is moving in the right direction under the leadership of our President Muhammadu Buhari.
Sokoto people have spoken. Everywhere we go, it is APC. Nigeria, say Buhari.
The Minister of Transport is at the design stage to do a railway line from Jibia to Guso, from Guso to Sokoto, from Sokoto to Kebbi.
Flags were presented to the APC governorship candidate in the state, Ahmed Aliyu, and other standard bearers for National Assembly elections. President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier led the campaign council to pay homage on the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, who described the unprecedented fight against corruption by the Buhari presidency as well thought out and worthy of support by all well-meaning Nigerians.
May Allah bless all of us, bless Nigeria, and may He Almighty also help the President to exercise his mandate as the leader of this great country.
The Sultan, however, made a case for politicians to, while politicking, avoid inflammatory statements capable of fanning the embers of disunity and destabilization, saying the country must survive to be laid. From Sokoto, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has continued his visits to communities in Ekiti State. On Tuesday, the Vice President met with people of Omu Ekiti, emphasizing the sincere concern of President Muhammadu Buhari and their determination to utilize the resources of the country to improve the lives of all Nigerians. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Total acceptance. Arguably, the right way to describe this mammoth crowd that trooped out to welcome Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to the Omu Ekiti community in Ekiti State. With Governor Kayode Fayemi by his side, the people led the Vice President to the palace of their monarch.
We want to appeal to our people, most importantly the politicians, that they should play the games according to the rules, and that we want to appeal also to the INEC officers, to be dutiful and do their duty as expected. We want to appeal to the security agencies also to be neutral and make sure that before, during, and after the election, there is peace in this place. And we pray that God Almighty will grant us that peaceful coexistence in Nigeria.
Olomuo of Omuekiti, Obanua Adejumo Omonigbein, expresses the gratitude of the people for the visit. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the visit was to interact with the people and to deliver the message of the president, saying, never again must the people allow impunity in the governance of the country, and the need to cast their votes for the candidates of the All Progressives Congress. After the meeting at the palace, Vice President Osinbajo paid homage to market women at Ojaoba. Before leaving the community, the Vice President paid a visit to the family of late Ayole Keadu, at one time Senior Special Assistant to the President in Omuekiti. Jide Onifade, NT News.
The Southeast Governors Forum has appealed to President of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Nia Umudu, to shift its scheduled meeting on the 24th of this month to 7 p.m. due to President Muhammadu Buhari's visit same day. Statement by the chairman of the forum and Governor Ebonyi State, David Umahi, indicates that the visit by the president to Enugu and Anambra states will enable him commission the Zik Mausoleum and Presidential Library built by the federal government in honor of late Zik of Africa. The shift the forum maintains will enable them to attain both events. Now, any war waged on corruption should not be misconstrued as settling old scores or a witch hunt. I am running for president to lead Nigeria to prosperity and not adversity. These words are not mine, but that of President Muhammadu Buhari, a leading presidential candidate of the governing APC for the February 16 polls. Forward with Buhari, an independent campaign team for the APC, says it draws inspirations from President Muhammadu Buhari, who they agreed is a divine leader, whose ambition to seek re-election in 2019 is in the interest of the nation. As such, the group has formally unveiled its agenda ahead of the 2019 election. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi reports.
From all walks of life, members of the Forward with Buhari converged on the International Conference Center, Abuja, to share ideas as part of their collective resolve and determination to add value to the forces working to renew President Muhammadu Buhari's mandate come February 16. This is to enable them fast-track genuine efforts aimed at consolidating on the gains of his administration that is eminently showcasing the desired leadership qualities that guarantee positive transformation of the country.
This group has in its fold mobilizers, canvassers, sensitizers, social media campaigners, door-to-door voter education experts, and many others, and are quite ready to commence their activities through the print and electronic media, as well as the various social media platforms in a rather unique way. The group is also expected to sustain a strategic momentum of campaign, especially whenever Mr. President visit any state, conduct your campaign rallies and depart. They are expected to thereafter occupy the entire space until the last day of campaign.
Its mandate is to create visibility and sustain the momentum of good governance and government programs under President Muhammadu Buhari as showcased within the first tenure of his administration.
If my colleagues are here, 36 of them, will agree with me, they will go forward with Buhari. For so many reasons. 27 out of 36 cannot pay salary. Some for 13 months, some for 14 months, some for 16 months, some for 8 months, respectively. You have to bail state out of this trouble.
And I need to remind this audience that the concept of change, which we came up with in 2015, had and still has three components. The first is national rebirth. The second is rebuild. And of course, the third one is restore values.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was represented by the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalong.
It is also very important that this group will engage majority of our electors who are not informed as the best way they can manage their votes after voting.
The Forward with Buhari is an independent campaign platform aimed at taking the advocacy for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari to the grassroots across the country. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Consolidation of peaceful coexistence and uniting the people for common good dominates the flag-off of the door-to-door campaign rally of the All Progressives Congress in Nasarawa South Senatorial Zone, with Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura seeking to represent the people at the Senate and also ensure the re-election of President Buhari and other candidates of the APC. Here is Joshua Ojito from Lafia.
Over the years, some communities of the Southern Senatorial Zone have come under different crises, but with sustained commitment by federal and state government, peace has returned to the zone. It is the basic requirement for development, and so the people in their numbers troop out to celebrate the return of peace and drum up support for the re-election of President Buhari and Governor Almakura as senator representing the zone.
And so because he was instrumental to the peace that has returned to Nasarawa State, we have to give him his support too when he needs us.
He has done a lot for us.
He is an ambassador of peace. Before now, we don't see what we are seeing in Nasarawa State, but he has made Nasarawa State a very perfect place to live.
The rally is also both a reminder and a projection of how the APC says it will remain committed on the implementation of development projects. Governor Almakura says a vote for him is a vote for quality representation in the Senate as he promises to consolidate on the gains already achieved. Party stakeholders are hopeful of victory for all APC candidates in the general elections as they pledge to canvass grassroots support for the party. The party welcomed to its fold former PDP governorship candidate in the state, Yusuf Agabi, and his supporters who defected to APC. As prominent traditional ruler of the area, Aliu Dengiwa Ogri Orume, commends government for its peace-building mechanism. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. The act prohibits all forms of discrimination on grounds of disability and imposes a fine of 1 million naira for corporate bodies and 1,000,000 naira for individuals, or a term of 6 months imprisonment for violation. I am now being joined by the presidential liaison to the National Assembly Senate, Senator Ita Enang, to speak more on the bill. It's good to have you on News Extra.
Thank you very much.
I should say quite an apt move there by the government, and timely too. But what are the other provisions of the Act, especially as it relates to public buildings, transport and government employment?
Now the bill provides that, like you've stated in your intro, that if any person violates this provision and discriminates in any manner against any person who is disabled, one way or the other, he is to pay a fine of 1 million naira in respect of a company, corporate organizations, or 100,000 in respect of individuals. And even after paying that the person who is violated or whose right is violated can still sue you for damages for breach. It also provides that for public buildings, public infrastructure, on any place where the public is entitled to have access, there must be, before you approve that plan of a building, you must ensure that there is provision for access in case of persons with who are on wheelchair. You must provide a ramp. you must provide a lift. And when you enter a lift, you'll hear it will say first floor, second floor, third floor. It is not just taking you, it is a provision that has been made according to law for persons who have hearing impairment. Now, it also provides that even if the person who provides that plan who draws that plan or makes that provision does not provide for it, and then you, the approving authority, approves, that institution, that person, the person who approves will be subject to punishment. It also provides that in any public building, like you go to hotels, you go to government offices, public offices, there must be provision, dedicated car park marked for persons with disability. I have been working with this person for a while, from the House of Representatives that have been struggling, and in the Senate they were struggling, and I think they have been on this bill for about 9 years.
Yes,
but it has come under the time of President Buhari. I want to congratulate the advocate of this bill and also congratulate Mr. President and thank Mr. President for this gift to this community.
It's a huge deal. Yes, of course. And so many years, like you rightly mentioned, it's been there have been so many physically challenged persons who have been following the legislative processes. Now we've gotten here. What, in your view, does this mean to them?
In my view, it means to them, it means that the society, the APC-led federal government, the Buhari-led government, values all Nigerians of all cultures and all status. I prefer to call these persons who are differently abled, because they are not disabled. They are differently abled. This provision, this bill, this act, makes provision that in every government employment, there must be 5% reserved for these persons. So you don't, and with the Federal Character Commission, every approving authority, by the time that you look at whether there has been compliance with employment, with all provisions of the Federal Character, all other conditions, you must also ensure that there is at least a minimum of 5% for persons who are either physically challenged, hearing impaired, or one way or the other they cannot see, or in any manner are not able to access different facilities in the public. So now this act is the great gift. It's a great gift to this community of persons.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator Tainang, for explaining all that to us.
Thank you very much.
It's been nice talking with you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, just do stay with us here on News Extra as we go for a break. We'll be back soon. Don't go away.
Going up? Of course you are. And why not? With Glow Internet, built on Africa's largest wholly owned metro fiber network, the sky is, well, it is rather unlimited. Up is upbeat, seamless. Up is quick and easy access to all your favorite apps and entertainment. And there is no downside on a network committed to upping your fun and productivity. Get quick on your uptake, my friend, and offset the odds in your favor. Because on Glow, up isn't an upgrade. It is the upgrade. Going up?
Upgrade to a 4G SIM for free and get 125% bonus. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
Buhari na you we want. Buhari na you we sabi. These other people na mouths them there. All these other people na jaga them sabi.
Oh yes, so people of Lagos State, now President Muhammadu Buhari, them go vote for this election when they come. So, because them don't see all the good work what they do to make our country better. Election time, now the time for sweet mouth. Some of them fit to use sweet mouth, collect banana from monkey hand. But President Buhari, now proper talk na do person. That is why we all go vote him. So if it to complete all the good work what they do for Lagos State and everywhere for Nigeria. People of Lagos, make we all come out on election day and vote Muhammadu Buhari as president of Nigeria. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, vice president. This one na time for the next level. Now a co-plus support group power this message.
I have seen these young Africans prosper, from some who didn't even know what to do with their lives until they got the $5,000 seed capital from Tony Elumelu Foundation, and the mentorship and the training. That gladdens my heart.
I saw this ad about the Tony Elumelu Foundation. I applied. That was the pivotal moment.
Africa Fashion Week London just came after I participated in the Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurship program.
Tony Elumelu, grâce à sa fondation, permet de donner une boussole à tous les entrepreneurs de cette fondation.
Our role is not only to empower young Africans directly, we should be a voice, advocate, catalyst for economic empowerment of Africa.
The future of Africa is in your hands.
Become a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. Apply now.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, invite stakeholders in the transportation, aviation, agriculture, water resources management, marine, oil and gas, health, construction, tourism, environment, power, commerce, disaster management, telecommunications, sports, among others, to the public presentation of the 2019 seasonal rainfall prediction by Senator Adi Sirika, Minister of State Aviation. Theme: Weather Ready, Climate Smart Economy, a Pathway to National Development. Date: Thursday, 24 January 2019. Time: 11 a.m. prompt. Venue: NAF Conference Center, Gwarimpa Expressway, Kado, Abuja. NIMET, providing weather, climate and water information for sustainable development. Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi, DG CEO, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, announcer.
The 5,000 naira where we need to buy UTME form for junior, he never come.
Mama Junior, President Muhammadu Buhari don't reduce price of UTME and DE form from 5,000 naira to 3,500 naira, excluding the money for reading text. Jam go begin sell 2019 UTME and direct entry application form from January 10 to February 21, 2019. The exam go sell for 16 to 23 March. For general detail, make coulda go to ibas.jam.gov.ng or download the app from Google Play Store. To register by form, text surname, first name plus middle name to 55019. Jam go send profile code wey get 10 character. Now this profile code candidate go fill when they pay for jam form. After payment, candidate go receive e-pin for him phone. Now this e-pin candidate go take go any accredited jam CBT center to complete online registration. Don't use another person phone number to take register.
Jam, enhancing academic excellence.
Did you know that the law governing the Nigeria Police Force predates independence and was enacted in 1943? A bill to repeal and reenact this law is currently before the Senate and seeks to update the law to bring it in line with modern practice. The bill also improves protection of citizens during police stop and search, mandates training of police officers, establishes community police forums, prohibits police officers from taking intoxicating substances while on duty, establishes a mechanism for investigating complaints of police misconduct, and establishes the Police Reward Fund to reward gallant officers. To learn more about this bill, visit www.placng.org. You can also follow the Twitter conversation via #ReformNPF, #PassPoliceBill. This message is brought to you by Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC.
I'm an only child, and I grew up as such from an extremely poor background. Early morning, I would fetch water for the family, then go to school, come back from school, then take the cattle for rearing. The cattle was not our own, but it was a wealthier neighbor's own, who will now, in exchange, give us some grains to feed for the family.
I believe in one Nigeria where all our people have equal opportunities. We must be the hope of the common man for the common good
of the Commonwealth of Nigeria.
Welcome back to News Extra with me, Joseph Johnson. Now let's take you to the Niger Delta because about 90,000 youths in the region are to be trained in different skills in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria instead of foreign countries. Now this was made possible by President Muhammadu Buhari following the completion of the Oil and Gas Vocational Training Center in Eshodo local government area in Ondo State through the Presidential Amnesty Office.
Pipeline vandalism and illegal refining of crude oil were disturbing issues in the Niger Delta region when President Muhammadu Buhari assumed office in 2015. To put an end to these issues, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo led a federal government delegation to engage the people in the Niger Delta region in a dialogue with promises to address infrastructural needs and empower the youths to be gainfully employed. So, when Professor Charles Dokubo became the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, providing skills for the ex-militants was paramount. And less than a year in office, this Oil and Gas Vocational Training Center is set to train youths in the region in computer engineering, instrumentation and control, process engineering, mechatronics, welding, fabrication, among others.
With the speedy completion and activation of these vocational training centers, the training of these ex-agitators still awaiting retribution will be fast-tracked at highly reduced cost to the federal government.
This program has transformed the entire Niger Delta state.
This center is affiliated to the Petroleum Training Institute in Ifuru Delta State, and each set of trainees will last for 6 months. This really excites the people.
The youth residents in this kingdom will be highly important, if not completely wiped away.
We are going to give them more funding so that they will be able to provide these facilities in all the states of the Niger Delta.
The Presidential Amnesty Office is not ending its journey only in Ondo State, as similar vocational centers are also in Edo, Bayelsa, Delta and River States. Mie Ogede, NT News.
Elsewhere, there are pointers to concerted efforts in recent times in reviving the Lake Chad to address challenges of poor economy and insurgency in the region. These discussions on NTA's current affairs program, Tuesday Live, say the interest of the present government is to advance growth and development. Talatu Ezerike reports.
Water is one of the essentials of life that goes beyond drinking, as it is a source of transportation and business avenue, especially for fishermen.
They sell fish, but I know they catch fish. Making sometimes they bring fish like 100,000. And this business is Sambo. It's like we go chop 500 for water, and I go chop 1,000, 2,000, 5,000.
They represent millions of Nigerians who earn a living at lakes like the Lake Chad, that was a hub of economic activities and food security in the region. The Lake Chad is presently drying up to 10% of its former self and has affected economic activities with varying challenges of security. Interestingly, there is now political will matched with action. The Abuja conference to save the Lake Chad last year, organized by President Muhammadu Buhari, recommended the Trans-Agua Interbasin water transfer to save the Lake Chad. By this, water is expected to be transferred from River Congo to replenish the lake that would, among other things, boost regional trade and investment.
President Muhammadu Buhari brought it to the attention of the world. He made a very passionate appeal to the international community to look at the issues of Lake Chad alongside the security challenges that we have. We've been able to sensitize the world for them to focus attention on the Lake Chad.
The Lake Chad alone can generate in its optimum level about within the Nigerian cycle about 70 million jobs.
And I'm so happy that our president has taken the initiative, aggressively going to the international communities, getting cooperation.
There are also suggestions of channeling flood water to the Lake Chad or other internal arrangement, given that the proposed Trans-Agua initiative is a long-term plan with huge costs.
We can opt for an intrabasin water transfer using the NNPC model by transferring the water from River Benue and then River Niger that is being wasted.
22,000 years ago, the mega chart dried up completely, and then it regained after some time, which we have the present Lake Chad.
Hence, there is a need for us to look at the management of that lake.
It is quite obvious that Nigerians are in for a better deal that will be consolidated in building a stronger nation. Tadat Izarike, NTA News.
Let's now turn our attention to the legislature. The need for independence of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was one of the major reasons Nigeria was suspended from the Egmont Group in July 2017. Now, following the passage of the NFIU Establishment Bill, President Muhammadu Buhari forwarded the name of Haman Modibo for confirmation as director of the organization. The good news is Senate has now confirmed the appointment. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo tells us more.
The Financial Intelligence Unit was an arm of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission before the amendment of Section 1 of the EFCC Act, which granted the unit independent status and was renamed Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. For efficient management of the anti-corruption organization, Mr. President appointed Haman Modibo as the pioneer director and requested Senate's confirmation.
The committee members.
Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes screened the nominee and recommends his confirmation.
As a new agency, the committee is satisfied that the nominee has the requisite experience, integrity, professional competence, and industry to discharge the function of the position to which he is nominated for.
This nominee was able to answer all the questions put forward to him by the committee and are satisfied the qualifications and the experience needed for the job.
As long as they are neutral and independent, I'm sure they will help this country in a fight against corruption.
The first of its kind in this country, which was due to efforts here in the Senate that we move for the independence of the financial intelligence, which will help enrich our country in the fight against corruption. So I thank you all that contributed in creating this unit, and today we now have somebody who has the directorship.
The legislators also approved the conference committee reports on the request of Mr. President and promissory note program and bond issuance to settle inherited debts, and the conference committee report on the establishment of the Agency for National Ethics and Values.
To settle inherited local debts and contractual obligations on refund to state government claims in export expansion grant EEG scheme and contractors' liability.
So when the two conferees met, the Senate committee version was wholly adopted.
The Senate, through a matter of personal explanation raised by Senate Chief Whip Olushola Adeyeye, urged airline operators in Nigeria to strictly comply to safety regulations. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is in keeping with its words of accelerating work on the 2019 appropriation bill. Today commenced debate on the budget proposal, amounting to more than 8.8 trillion naira. A National Assembly correspondent, Lami Ali, reports that lawmakers in their contributions called on government to ensure that its impact is felt across all sectors.
Shortly after commencement of debate on the 2019 appropriation bill, some lawmakers referred the House to certain errors noticed in the proposed amounts allocated to some ministries, departments and agencies of government.
Relevant committee chairman to liaise with the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning to ensure that by tomorrow, before we conclude the debate on the budget, we have the reconciled figures.
Leading debate on the bill, House Leader Femi Gbajabiamila said The document reflects the commitments of the APC-led government to sustainable growth in all sectors of the economy.
And to continue to lift significant numbers of our citizens out of poverty.
The capital expenditure for this year is much less than the amount you are going to use for debt servicing.
The budget that concerns agriculture should be submitted early enough to the legislature for deliberation and forcible approval early enough, because the rains are time-bound.
In the meantime, the House Arts Committee of the Whole considered and adopted reports of the Conference Committee on a bill to establish the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority, which seeks to promote participation of the private sector in the development of inland waterways in Nigeria.
Clause 7, dealing with the establishment of the governing board, the Conference Committee adopted the Senate version, which dealt with the governing board instead of the board of directors as in the House version.
While at the Committee of Supply, the recommendations on the establishment of a promissory notes program and bond issuance to help offset inherited local debts in respect of federal projects executed by states was also adopted. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Oshowore, is offering intellect, youthfulness and dynamism as qualities that make him the best option for Nigerians in the presidential election next month. Oshowore and the vice presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Ahmed Rufai, were on the candidates, a town hall platform provided by NTA and Daria Media for presidential and vice presidential candidates in the February 16 election. The CAN said the ACC, if elected, will pay more attention between making the private sector more viable to less the burden on government.
Intervention in Nigeria's institutional life under our government, in which that human resource of Nigeria, because oil is lazy the economy, ladies and gentlemen, oil is not the future.
We are a serious party, we are courageous, we are determined actually to change the status quo.
The African Action Congress standard bearer is of the opinion that Nigeria's population is an advantage his party intends to explore to be great. He said their government will promote ICT and use technology to drive the economy. Now, once upon a time, Gombe State used to be the food basket of the northeast part of the country. Then something happened. But now the state is regaining its lost glory. Stay with us for details of this and other stories when we come back.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
Since 1971, Nigeria's foremost human capital development institution, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has been at the forefront of equipping Nigerians with skills for national growth. Today's ITF has repositioned and refocused its programs, forging new partnerships locally and internationally to effectively deliver on its mandate. With 37 area offices and 5 industrial skills training centers across the country, ITF is pushing to reduce unemployment by providing relevant technical and vocational skills for employability and entrepreneurship in diverse trades and crafts. Whether you're a public or private organization seeking to improve the skills of your personnel or an individual looking to acquire skills that will increase your chances of employment or even to help start your own business, today's ITF has a program for you. Speak to us today. Contact our area offices nationwide or visit our website www.itf.gov.ng. ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I was so excited to sing in the choir. And your shirts are always so white. I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me. It's Jik, of course. The original trusted bleach, which can be used all around your house for amazing results.
Shh, it's our little secret.
It's no secret. It's Jik's best ever extra whitening power. Just Jik it.
The Candidates, a presidential town hall co-production between Daria Media and NTA, supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Kingsley Mogalu and running mate Umar Getso of the Young Progressive Party, Muhammadu Buhari and running mate Yemi Osinbajo of the All Progressives Congress, Omoyele Sowore and running mate Rabiu Ahmed Rufai of the African Action Congress, Atiku Abubakar and running mate Peter Obi of the People's Democratic Party. Moderator, Padria Ahmed. Town Hall venue, Sheraton Hotel, Abuja. Next Town Hall, Wednesday, 30th January 2019, with the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, from 8 to 10 p.m. The candidates will be broadcast live on NTA and other partner TV and radio stations, as well as streamed online on NTA and DTV.media. If you are over 18 and want to be part of the audience, apply online at daria.media. Or use the hashtag NGTheCandidates, or participate online using the hashtag NGTheCandidates.
What is the real value of the money you receive on election day in order to cast your vote for a candidate? Note that the money you receive is all you will be paid in the next 4 years the candidate will be in office. He has paid you in advance for 4 years' service. How much do you value yourself? Is that small change offered what you are worth? They have bought your silence so that they and their children can live well. Is 13 kobo per day or even 68 kobo per day worth it? Think twice. Don't sell your future. Don't sell your vote. 4 years is a long time. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Thank you so much indeed for your company so far on News Extra. Abolade Salami is in Lagos with some business news. Good to see you, mate. I know you have some figures to talk about.
Yes, Joseph, good evening and welcome to the business news segment. Economic expert has described the decision by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria to maintain monetary policy rates at 14% and liquidity ratio at 30% as a way of ensuring price stability towards fostering economic growth. President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Uche Olowo, said the decision by the committee to keep all key variables unchanged is realistic, going by the uncertainty in the global oil market and the foreign exchange markets.
The managers of the economy is clear. You're managing price stability. You also want to foster a growth. Yes, if you cut interest rate, it means that you want to encourage lending, credit growth, and all that. But on the other flip side too, you're having to battle with inflation and exchange rate. And of course, price stability remains key, and that they have done to maintain that price stability. I think they are justified in doing that.
Meanwhile, oil prices rose about 1% this Wednesday as U.S. crude stock fell. International Brent crude oil future went up 67 cents, or 1.1% at $62.17 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude future rose by 51% to $53.52 a barrel. Crude oil price had fallen 2% on Tuesday. Now let's talk equities market. The market posted yet another gain. Nina Narot Musa is standing by to give us details.
The market has retained its bullish run, appreciating by 0.46% to close the all-share index at 30,878.56 basis points. Volume of shares traded stood at 376 million, valued at 2.96 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 3,405 deals. Market capitalization finished midweek at 11.51 trillion naira. 21 stocks post gains, with the banking sector taking lead as Guarantee, Stanbic, and Fidelity all closed in the green, while 10 recorded a decline. On the sectoral performance, only NSC Banking closed in the positive territory with 1.64%, while NSC Consumer Goods, NSC Industrial, NSC Insurance, and NSC Oil and Gas all finished trading in the red, depreciating by 0.01%, 0.04%, 0.24%, and 0.14%. That concludes stock market reports. Back to you, Abolade.
Thank you, Nina Nerot. That's a wrap on business news. It's back to you, Joseph, for the continuation of Weekend News Extra.
Thank you, Abolade. Now, Gombe State is beginning to regain its lost glory as the food basket of the Northeast following the increased farming activities in the state. Now, this is evident by the bumper harvest recorded in the last cropping season. Abubakar Adamu will now tell us how truly bumper the harvest was.
It is a market day in Kumo, headquarters of Akko local government area of Gombe State, northeast Nigeria. It is one of the popular markets in the sub-region where farmers and grains merchants always have a field day. Since the commencement of the 2018 harvest season, business activities has always been at its peak. Money keeps changing hands as tons of assorted grains, including maize, millet, guinea corn, rice and beans, are loaded for other parts of the country and beyond. With 2019 already ushered in, business is still booming in Kumu and other popular markets as farmers continue to stock them with grains. Thanks to the bumper harvest experienced in the last cropping season, courtesy of the renewed federal government's agricultural policies.
Much has been put into the farmers through fertilizer and subsidy of cost of production.
The popular Tudunhazi in Gombe Metropolis remains the biggest grains depot where grains merchants from within and outside Nigeria come to do business. So is the line in Shinkafa in the Gombe main market, where trucks keep loading rice to different destinations on daily basis. For many farmers in Gombe State, it has never been so good.
The federal government has impacted so much, like the inputs. We have different sources of inputs, like the fertilizer, the seedlings, which we use in farming, including the dry season farming.
The bumper harvest came along with it drastic fall in the prices of foodstuff.
There are differences between the last year's products and this year's products. Because when we bought our own last year, we bought about 21,500, and this year is cheaper.
I came by crop, and fortunately this year the price has dropped compared to last year.
With many Nigerians answering President Muhammad Buhari's clarion call to embrace agriculture, the future of Nigeria's economy continues to be brighter by the day. In Gombe, Abubakar Adamu, NTA News.
Gombe State stepping it up a notch there, a major bounce back, if you like. Now, for more than 3 decades, one of the areas that produce a substantial amount of food requirement in northern Nigeria has been grappling with near total collapse of infrastructure each year. Farmers in the southern part of Adamawa State lose up to half of their produce in post-harvest losses and wastes due to lack of roads, works and housing. Correspondent Mohammed Hamza Sheikh, just back from the area, reports that the Buhari administration is redirecting the fortunes of the people in road development.
A power to Zing Road to Mayo Bilwa is one of the major roads in Taraba State experiencing heavy traffic in recent times. Many have attributed the flow of traffic to security challenges along the Jalingo to Norman Road, forcing motorists to divert movement to this route. The consequences is that the road seems not ready for the challenge, as lot of portions are failing and developing large numbers of potholes, with drivers becoming increasingly frustrated as they struggle to drive through.
So many cars used to come and jump pack themselves. This one enter bush, this one enter bush.
There's a truck that fell down from that junction. So if not for the God's intervention, we would have lost so many souls.
The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has, however, moved in to make life better for the road users. The agency is presently carrying out rehabilitation work, fixing failed portions and filling up the potholes. About 4 kilometers have so far undergone repairs. FEMA expresses optimism of completing the rehabilitation work on the road and other highways linking Taraba State before the rainy season begins.
In fact, more than 90% of them, especially the heavy trucks, they have diverted through this alternative route. So, and with that, the heavy traffic on this road has further led to the degeneration. But right now, you can go smoothly, you overtake smoothly and go anywhere you want to go. From the impression where I'm saying is very nice for me. Okay.
The agency has also constructed a mega water canal along the Norman to Jalingo Road to prevent surging water from damaging that particular portion. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
We sincerely do apologize for the mix-up there. That's actually Joseph Oten's report on FEMA's road rehabilitation in Taraba State. Now let's take you back to our earlier report in which we told you that for more than 3 decades, one of the areas that produce substantial amount of the food requirement in northern Nigeria has been grappling with near total collapse of infrastructure. Each year, farmers in the southern part of Adamawa State lose up to half of their produce in post-harvest losses and wastes due to lack of roads. Works and Housing correspondent Mohammed Hamza Sheikh, just back from the area, now reports that Buhari administration is redirecting the fortunes of the people in road development.
For over 30 years, those plying the Mayobalwa Jada Ganye Tongo Road have suffered untold hardship due to the total collapse of this road. Today, however, the Muhammadu Buhari administration is changing the narratives, just like many other road projects around the country.
Located in the southern part of Adamawa State, the Jadaganye Tongo area is agriculturally endowed where everything grows. The major economic activity of the people is therefore farming, both agricultural and pastoral. This results in the transportation on daily basis of such farm produce as yams, grains, onions, sugarcane, and livestock, with an average of 3,000 daily traffic. The road covers Mayobalwa to Jada, Ganye, Tongo, Jamtari, the border between Nigeria and the Cameroon Republic. It is for this economic reason that the Buhari administration decided to open up the area to enhance growth and development.
We thank them for the cooperation, and we expected more cooperation and the government to do what President Namadi will do more with their cooperation and support.
Contract for the rehabilitation of the 112-kilometer road was awarded in August 2018 at the cost of 22.6 billion naira and is expected to be completed in 36 months. Just a few months into the project period, its beneficiaries are full of praises to the Buhari administration.
The road was very, very bad, honestly, because from here, we used to spend almost 2-3 hours to Jada. And by now, although the road is not yet completed, there is a much difference now.
We hope the federal government will give even more projects to the company so that at least most of our youth will have an opportunity like this, like myself.
We pray
to our president so that he will finish the project. That is 4 plus 4, make it 8.
So 4 plus 4.
Yeah.
The Mayo Balwa Jada Ganye Tongo Road project provides 3,300 direct and indirect jobs to mostly people of the area. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
Operation Egueke continues to penetrate across the nook and crannies of the Federation, sending strong warning to criminally minded persons. For the extra touch on this report, stay tuned after the break.
I'm an only child, and I grew up as such from an extremely poor background. Early morning, I would fetch water for the family, then go to school, come back from school, then take the cattle for rearing. The cattle was not our own, but it was a wealthier neighbor's own, who will now, in exchange, give us some grains to feed for the family.
I believe in one Nigeria where all our people have equal opportunities. We must be the hope of the common man for the common good of the Commonwealth of Nigeria.
Team huddle.
But we lost.
Don't be tired, guys. This isn't a loss. It's a practice for winning.
Nothing makes a mother prouder than seeing her child growing up. But I know as he learns to lead, he'll face even more dirt, germs, and risk of illness.
That's why in changing seasons, you need strong Dettol protection. Because Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Before we came into National Homegrown School Feeding Program, we are only producing 2 bags of flour. Now we are producing up to 40 to 50 bags of food breads to children per day.
Before, we could sell the sachet juice and some of our materials at about 4 trucks per week, 6 trucks. But with homegrown now, we are going to about 14 trucks per week. Because of the National Homegrown School Feeding, we had to add additional 150 staff in order to cope with the time and then the production capacity.
We really praise the present administration under the General Muhammadu Buhari for creating National Homegrown School Feeding Program.
Kudos to the federal government.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back. This is still News Extra. The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is poised to join in efforts with National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, towards ridding the nation of fake drugs and other substandard products. Omenka Amaruchuku reports that the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, stated this during a courtesy visit by management of NAFDAC to the NTA headquarters, Abuja.
NAFDAC was established in 1993 to regulate consumption of drugs, food and unwholesome products. To effectively perform this task, the agency is seeking partnership with relevant agencies and organizations.
Substandard falsified medicines have killed more people. So these are the things that NAFDAC has to fight for and fight against when it comes to illegality of it. And media is, there's nothing we can do without media.
DG NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed reaffirms the commitment of Africa's broadcast giant, the NTA, towards enlightenment programs for nation building.
In the future of Nigeria, as embodied in our youth, is being systematically destroyed by the incidence of illicit drugs. And the federal government is very concerned about that. We did it in the past, and we're capable of doing it again. Yes. But I want NAFDAC to be out there, to be seen and to be heard.
The Nigerian Television Authority over the years has rendered media services to government agencies and other organizations contributing to national development. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
In Jigawa State, there is a conscious effort towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, especially targeted at the provision of potable water, improved sanitation and personal hygiene. Habib Hussein reports that the state, because of this stride, has achieved zero open defecation in some local government areas.
Open defecation is a negative global practice that poses serious threat to environment and health status of the people. Statistics revealed that about 892 million people, that is about 12% of the global population, practice open defecation. In Nigeria, according to 2018 National Outcome Routine Mapping Report, 47 million people defecate in the open, while the country loses 455 billion naira annually due to poor sanitation. Against this background, Jigawa State government committed over 11 billion naira from 2015 to date to improve water supply, control open defecation and other sanitation challenges.
Every community must have a clean water, and it has to be very hygienic. So these are the major two criteria for selecting this local to be ODM.
Currently, open defecation free has been achieved in 2 local government areas of Buji and Birnin Kudu, and more are on the line. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, is expected to officially present the certificate of open defecation free to the state. From Dutse, Jigawa State, Hawa Halera Haruna, NTA News.
Respite might have come on pipeline vandalism in the Lagos Island axis as a notorious pipeline kingpin identified as Shuaibu Ogumola has been apprehended by men of Operation Awase in Lagos. Lydia Sampson reports that the arrest is the product of intelligence gathering and collaboration with the NNPC. Lydia tells us about it.
Pipeline vandalization has remained a thorn in the flesh of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and by extension the Nigerian economy. In 2014, to put an end to this menace, critical security operatives under the defense headquarters came up with Operation Awase. This journey is taking us to the root of the matter.
The journey to the den of the alleged vandals is one filled with anxiety, but then duty beckons, and the journalistic instinct calmed every other thing in anticipation of a big story. After 2 hours on the sea, we finally arrived at our destination.
This is Elisha village. For now, it looks as if we're in the middle of nowhere, but reports have it that this place was highly fought for and recovered by the military and security agencies in collaboration with the NNPC. In the vandals' world, this place is referred to as Shaibu's Point because everywhere you look at, it's high level of siphoning of petroleum products with storage tanks scattered behind me and even ahead of me. And here we are told allegedly that for you to be a vandal and to operate as one, you have to buy your right of way from Shaibu, the kingpin.
The arrest of Shaibu is vital because once this has taken place and he's properly prosecuted, the boys will realize that the law will also have its course and will be discouraged from going further in this kind of line of business.
But the deterrence, the message that will go out, we do hope that the way it's handled will determine to what extent the success will be sustained.
This is Shaibu Ogumola, the alleged kingpin.
Then just knock my door. Open. Who is that? I say open. I say just open. That's how they just arrest me. Say they need me in Navy base here.
The arrest of the Don in Elisha village has made the atmosphere tensed. Most houses are deserted, with a few other residents keeping a safe distance as they watch a joint team of Operation Awase and NNPC taking a tour of illegal storage facilities buried under shallow sand. The magnitude of this economic sabotage, experts here say, can only be imagined when tied to the critical role of System 2B pipeline network, which is responsible for pumping petroleum products from Atlas Cove in Lagos Island to Ejigbo, Musumi in Ogun, Ibadan in Oyo, Ore in Ondo, and Ilorin in Kwara State. From Lagos Island, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
End of the road for the alleged kingpin, that is. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, says, contrary to speculations, Exercise Egu 3 is only targeted at criminally minded people and not innocent politicians or peasants. The minister said this at the flag-off of Exercise Egueke 3 in Kuje Area Council of the FCT. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa tells us about it.
Egweke is an Igbo phrase meaning python dance, which is a code name for this joint military and paramilitary exercise aimed at securing Nigerians against criminal activities in view of the 2019 general elections.
As the build-up to 2019 general election gathers momentum, an upsurge of security challenges such as stockpiling of arms by criminal groups, formation of militias, and violence induced by political activities is on the rise. These challenges, coupled with other security threats across the country, such as terrorism, militancy, kidnapping, and banditry, portend that dissident groups and criminals cash in on the situation to perpetrate large-scale violence.
The first and second phases of the exercise held in 2016 and 2017 in the southeast succeeded in stemming armed robbery, kidnapping and cultism in the nation's oil-rich region.
The Nigerian Army, in line with its constitutional mandate of military aid to civil authority, has solid this internal security operation-based exercise from 28 December 2018 to 28 February 2019.
The Gas Brigade's area of responsibility covers the seat of power, Abuja, and environs.
What we saw today is an institution of government recognized by the Constitution trying to discharge its constitutional mandate, for which we civilians are eternally grateful.
The Army appealed to the public to provide credible information to ensure the success of the nationwide exercise Egweke 3. From Kuje, in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
More than 80 illegal refineries have been destroyed by the Nigerian Navy NNS Delta during its swarm buggy operation, indicating the commander's readiness to fight the economic saboteurs to a standstill shortly after the operation. Eloho Abra has the details.
Nigerian Navy says it's leaving no stone unturned in bringing to an end illegal refineries in the riverine communities. To this end, the NNS Delta has carried out an operation known as the Operation Swam Boogie.
We are carrying out a Swam Boogie operation to destroy the illegal refinery in Tibo community in Warri Southwest local government of Delta State. We are destroying over 82 illegal refinery sites and about 32 dog pits that was used to store illegal products.
With this Swam Boogie operation, bunkers have been advised to desist from their illegal activities or face the full wrath of the law. From Tibo community in Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State, I am Eloho Agbra, NTA News.
Thank you, Eloho. What are the civil society organizations saying again? You want to know? Stay tuned after the break. Thanks for joining us again on News Extra. In any level of government, provision of basic infrastructure gives hope to the hopeless, lack of which can increase the level of poverty in the land. As the federal government is set to launch their social investment policy to consolidate on the ongoing care and support to poor and vulnerable Nigerians, civil society organizations monitoring recovery of looted assets and disbursement of funds is advocating institutionalization of the investment policy for sustainability. The CSOs under the auspices of African Network for Environment and Economic Justice says sustainability of the social investment policy in Nigeria will go a long way in reducing the level of poverty in the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Statistics reveal that poverty the world over continues to be one of the greatest challenges, with an estimate of over 700 million people who live below the globally acceptable poverty line. In Nigeria, corruption and lack of basic infrastructure have been the bane for increased poverty. Previous administrations who initiated social investment programs to reduce poverty failed due to majorly corruption. But this is a thing of the past, thanks to the Buhari administration, who came to the rescue by tackling corruption in all fronts. At the moment, sustainable social investment programs are up and running, giving succor to the hopeless. While consolidating efforts with the launch of the social investment policy, the CSOs are advising government to ensure efficient and effective programs with increased annual budgetary allocation of 500 billion naira to the program.
We have seen the evidence so far that the recovered partial load is going to conditional cash transfer in Nigeria, and the very poor or the poorest in Nigeria are benefiting from the cash transfer. That's for us reinforces the need for us to continue to support social policy that will benefit the very poor in our society.
So if we say people are poor, that is why they are corrupt. Now the government is saying, let's design a program that will deal with poverty. I think it's something that we should all embrace, so that we deal with what is actually causing corruption, so that we all can have a good country.
The social investment policy, when institutionalized, will continue to remain a policy document for any government to consider in the welfare and care for the vulnerable Nigerians. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
The federal government has intensified efforts towards prisons decongestion by ensuring speedy dispensation of justice with the launch of the National Prisons Information Management System in the 36 states and the FCT. Morujanatu Adam Said reports.
Predated state of Nigerian prisons before now demonstrates a condition that cannot guarantee the reformatory process of the inmate, which is the essence of imprisonment. Failure by previous administrations to implement prison reforms are said to be responsible, and prisons play a critical role in the economic stability of any nation.
Every prison, that you must have records of all people that are kept on admission, and when they are discharged, you also keep the records, because some of them become criminal data records, and therefore you can always trace them.
The chief warders say the ceremony is to celebrate the present administration efforts in reforming the entire justice system.
This coordination with NIMSI will be duplicated with the Nigerian Police Force's Central Criminal Registry, which will be unveiled in 4 zones, and the Federal Capital Territory within the first quarter of the year. The Federal Ministry of Justice's National Crime Database when completed, and the various pro bono legal service providers.
With the launch, it is expected that inmate biometrics will be kept for life using technology with timely access to justice, which will now be smoother and better. Prisons in Africa are below global standards. Not anymore. Emerging fact shows that the condition in African prisons, especially in Nigeria, can't compare with the best in the world. In Abuja, Morujanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
Thank you, Morujanatu. This is News Extra with the extra touch. Sports update comes up after the break. Don't go away.
My name is Reverend Living Usoko, the State Chairman of Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, a Born State chapter. The Anchor Brewers program helps me a lot to enlarge my farm. This Anchor Brewers has helped us a lot. And we are telling the federal government and the CBM to continue because it is a help to farmers now. We appreciate it. We ask them to continue. This is what can help the farmers to know that these governments are concerned with the farmers.
Thanks for staying with us. Now let's get on to sports now. The start of 2018-2019 season of the Nigeria Professional Football League has been threatened by pockets of match-day violence at some venues across the country, with Plateau United and Remo Stars football clubs recently involved in unruly behavior. Correspondent Oche Ngbede takes a look at how this recurring decimal can be eradicated.
Studies have shown that apart from religion, the most unifying thing in the world is sport, and with football coming top as the most followed and most passionate game, the issues of ethnicity, religion, and tribe, as well as other divisive discussions, are arrested and temporarily thrown into oblivion during football matches. But regrettably, the bond that comes from football has become a threat to so many, particularly in Nigerian Professional Football League, where the beauty of the game is regularly being killed on the altar of gangsterism at match venue. While oligarchism in sport is a global phenomenon, the rate at which violence mar league matches in Nigeria has assumed an alarming dimension. The violence which occurred at various venues of the Nigerian league is giving football stakeholders cause for concern. For instance, 2 match officials have tested the bitter side of their job, going home with various degrees of injuries.
The mentality of the people is different. The way we see things is different from the way the ordinary man out there sees things. These people come to have fun. They know that game is just, football is a game of what? Entertainment. You come, you have fun, and you go home. How on earth will you, because you play the draw game, you beat the referee? Where is it done?
While punishment may have been meted to clubs for fan violence, stakeholders are calling for more to be done, as the reoccurrence of the situation is casting a dark shadow over the development of the league.
One of the things you must ensure is security. Security at the match venue. Very, very important.
If LMC club owners should come back, I think they need to review that law. It is too soft. Just banish them for a season.
With the 2018-2019 MPFL season gaining momentum gradually, what is now left to be seen if the league management company will come up with stiffer measures that will help stem the tide of the situation that is presently rocking the Nigerian Professional Football League, or will the FAs of the various states caution their fans, or better still, with the fans on their own understand the danger of beating up match officials, are the many questions on the mind many football lovers. In Abuja, Oche Ngbede for NTA News.
Thank you, Oche, and of course we'll be tracking that for you here on NTA. Every man's life must come to an end. It's only how he lived that distinguishes one man from the other. Although the scenario that brought about the death of Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade was tragic, he was still celebrated as a gallant soldier whose sterling legacies will continue to linger in the nation's armed forces. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The journey to the final resting place for former Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, started from his place of worship at the Protestant Church, Nigerian Air Force Base in Abuja. In line with military tradition, as the burial party marched into the National Cemetery, the casket was lowered, wishing the Air Chief Marshal farewell.
Dust to dust, ashes to ashes.
This was preceded by wreath laying, firing of volley, and last post.
In his capacity as the Chief of Defense Staff, he provided leadership and direction to the entire armed forces of Nigeria, especially in the fight against insurgency and terrorism.
The loss of this professional and patriotic gentleman must spur the rest of us, not only in the armed forces, but indeed in Nigeria, to rededicate ourselves in the service of our nation and our people.
Air Chief Marshal Alex Badi was the 18th Chief of the Air Staff and the 15th Chief of Defense Staff in Nigeria. From the National Military Cemetery in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
May his soul rest in peace. The death has been announced of Pa Olarewaju George Obafemi, who died after a brief illness on January 10, aged 78. The burial arrangements include Christian wake at his residence on Thursday, January 31st in Lagos, and lying in state and funeral service at Horace Memorial Methodist Cathedral, Yaba, Lagos on Friday, 1st February by 9 a.m. Interment follows at Ikoyi Cemetery behind Radio Nigeria. He is survived by many relatives and children, including NTA staff Ololade Adeniji. May his soul rest in peace. Time now to run a check on Thursday's weather prospects.
Welcome to the weather forecast for Thursday. Sunny and hazy condition is probable over the extreme northern part of the country. The north central and the south should expect partly cloudy conditions. But the southeast coast have some prospect of thunder showers. But later in the afternoon, we expect some build-up over the southern cities to give rise to scattered thunderstorms. Part of the north central, places like Mambila, Abuja, Nasarawa, and their environs should expect some thunderstorms here and there as well, while the extreme northern part of the country should remain sunny and hazy. I'll leave you with temperature forecast. I'm Oluchukwu Anogu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
And just before we go, we will like to inform you that a special package of testimonies of change comes up immediately after News Extra at 10:30 p.m. All NTA stations are advised to remain on the network service. It's been fun doing this with you on News Extra tonight. My name is Joseph Johnson. Hopefully, I'll see you again. Bye for now.
Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link. And be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
My name is Natu Baba, and some people they say I be superstar. But to me, the real superstars are the people where they go vote for the candidate of their choice without violence. You understand? So for this upcoming election, be my superstar. Go out, go vote. No fighting, no violence, because election will be war.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Program being organized by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in order to showcase the achievements of the present administration under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, which has impacted so much on the citizens and in the country in general. We have series of areas that these achievements have impacted on our society. The list is so long